Rice production partnership between Lagos and Kebbi states gets presidential commendation.
If you see anything that is evil, that is bad, try to change it.
Responsibility of every Nigerian in the fight against corruption restated today at the Jumat service.
Christians were expected to emulate him, to behave like him. So when you answer Christian, you are really taking on very huge responsibilities.
Euphoria of Christmas in the air, preparations for the celebration of the birth of Christ. A very good evening to you, compliments of the season, and thanks for joining us on the NTA Network News for tonight. I am Fumi Wakama. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended Lagos and Kebbi states for successful partnership that gave rise to the local production of lake rice. The president particularly gave kudos to the commitment of Governors Akinwumi Ambode and Atiku Bagudu in the bringing to fruition the Memorandum of Understanding signed in March 2016 to meet the country's rice requirements. He expressed delight at the relatively cheaper price of lake rice, especially in this period of recession. President Buhari said that what the two states have done is evidence of a new base being laid for the Nigerian economy, founded and propelled by agriculture away from substantial dependence on oil and gas for national revenue. Still staying with the presidency, contrary to media reports alleging that President Muhammadu Buhari snubbed the Southeast Economic and Security Summit in Enugu, the presidency has reacted that this is contrary to the truth. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant Garba Shehu said the president happily accepted the invitation but requested that the event be pushed forward to January 2017 in view of the closeness to Christmas. The statement said the president did not insist and the date was not changed. Nigeria has won the right to host the 2018 Africa Agriculture Festival, scheduled to take place in Abuja. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Agbe, says Nigeria will use the opportunity to attract investors to develop its potential in producing enough honey for export. Musa Babalio has that report.
It was in Kigali, Rwanda, during the 2016 Apicultural Festival that Nigeria bidded and won the hosting of the 2018 episode. The condition is for host nation to pay a fee of $50,000 and set up interministerial committee that provide guideline on investment opportunities in apiculture business in the host country.
A memorandum of understanding is to be signed between the government and Apitrade, the organizers. Government now will serve as a guarantee for the private sector who will now make the show.
Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe, says Nigeria has met all the conditions and will use the opportunity to fight against importation of fake honey products.
I do not see why Tanzania, Botswana, Rwanda, all those countries in East Africa should make so much money from honey exports while just rely on imports for satisfying our needs here. I think it's something which we should bring to a halt as quickly as possible.
The European Union, giving a grant of 13.1 million euro, is to enable stakeholders in honeybee production and beekeeping to connect themselves to grow.
Interministerial committee drawn from the Ministry of Agriculture, Trade and Investment and Export Promotion Council has been constituted. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And turning to health matters, the management of the Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta, has debunked the rumor of multiple deaths in the hospital due to Lassa fever outbreak. Acting Chief Medical Director, Dr. Isaac Hunyibo, and the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Babatunde Ipaye, stated this while speaking with correspondent Anthony Gandunu.
Reacting to the rumor of the number of deaths recorded by the hospital as a result of the outbreak of Lassa fever, as reported by some medium, the acting chief medical director of the Federal Medical Center Idiaba Abeokuta, Dr. Isaac Huimbo, said the only death recorded was that of Mrs. Bolanle Adesuyi, an assistant chief nursing officer of the hospital. The victim, Mrs. Adesuyi, according to the acting CMD, contracted the disease from unknown place.
There is no copper that died of Lassa fever in this place. It's the only one that we have confirmed that everybody has known. Our assistant chief nurse that died. There was no copper at all, either serving in FMC or serving in Ogun State or serving anywhere.
Confirming the incident, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Babatunde Ipaye, said the state government delegation had immediately visited the hospital for on-the-spot assessments and has been of help.
We have also supported the Federal Medical Center to now set up an isolation unit, because that patient should have been managed in an isolation unit if they had informed us much earlier. And we have provided from our department necessary protective wears, and then we have trained all the staff of the hospital that they have made available to us.
Visit to the hospital revealed that all service areas of the hospital are in operation as workers were seen going about their official duties. Anthony Gandono, NTA News.
And still staying with the health sector, a major plank of the current administration's health agenda is revitalization of 10,000 primary health centers across the country. Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, was on a project assessment visit to one of the revitalized centers in the Federal Capital Territory, where activities show the big difference a strengthened and well-monitored big primary health care system can make in reversing some of Nigeria's poor health indices. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah has that report.
Facelift was evident in the facilities available and services being rendered.
This woman, were it not for this place, could have died at home. She delivered and retained the placenta, but they brought her here and they removed it. The only need is when the child has jaundice, the yellowness of the skin. If the child has that, we put the child here and expose the child to light. We call it phototherapy.
For those who might be unaware of the 10,000 free surgeries that the federal government is offering Nigerians under the Rapid Results Initiative, the minister sounded a reminder.
The only qualification you have is that you must be poor. And we do those surgeries that really put people into discomfort. Aneurysms, mammectomies, cleft lip, and hydrocelectomies, mammectomy, many of the, even VVF. And this is being handled across the country in about 46 of the specialist centers across the country.
The health minister is vigorously driving the project with the passion President Muhammadu Buhari has for it. His assessment visit to the revitalized primary health center located in Kuchingoro of district in the FCT is ahead of the commissioning of the health facility by President Muhammadu Buhari as a flagship of the revitalization program. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
The European Union is to partner Nigeria on chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear risk mitigation. Deputy Head, European Union Delegation, Richard Young, disclosed this when he visited the Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazao.
Biological, Radiological and Nuclear Risk Mitigation Center was launched in 2010 by the Union to prevent and offer post-management services after disaster. They are in Nigeria in their efforts to boost cooperation at national, regional and international levels aimed at developing common policy in disaster management.
The idea is that these products, chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear, can pose particular threats. And these threats might be as a result of criminality, they might be a result of accident.
General Abdurrahman Dambazao told the delegation that his ministry is a lead agency in public safety and security and would set up interagency technical committee to articulate needs assessment of the country
with a view to domesticating the outcome of the technical committee in other ministries.
The Ministry of Interior is a lead ministry in terms of national emergencies. With this information, we look at it and see, conduct some needs assessment.
The minister urged the committee to pay attention on the issues of dumping of nuclear waste, proper management and disposal of medical and e-waste and allied matters in the country.
Meanwhile, the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, says he will not condone action by any of his aides going against the provision of the law or threatening the peace of the country. Dr. Saraki said this while reacting to a statement issued in Abuja to the media by the Department of State Security Service, which raised certain allegations against one Ugochukwu Ikenga, an aide of the Senate President. In a statement by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Yusuf Olaniyono, the Senate President called on the DSS to properly investigate the said allegations and allow the law to take its natural course. The federal government is to set up a task force towards the protection of the Nigerian creative industry. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said this on NTA's program, Good Morning Nigeria, while projecting the prospect of the creative industry in the year 2017. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
The Nigerian creative industry, known to be very lucrative, has gone far beyond the shores of the African continent, down to Europe, Asia and beyond. It is one industry that's providing employment to millions of Nigerians with much more potentials. 2016 has been a remarkable year for those in the industry, especially for those in the music, film, and all other active players in the creative sector. With these success stories of 2016, the question is, what are the prospects of the industry in 2017? For the creative industry to achieve better results in the year 2017, guests on the program believe that the intellectual resources of the young people must be fully harnessed, while they should be given a platform to be seen and heard.
A lot of private sector initiatives need to come into this sector, as well as government just coming in to ensure that we get that visibility, which is what we're doing here this morning. Get that visibility out there, change the perception. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this industry. And
we have not spent enough energy to promote the sales of what we are protecting. You find that at the root, the young artist actually has no platform to grow.
The guests also talked about the introduction of skill set courses in schools.
We have the people who can sing, who can dance, who can create programs, who can do incredible fashion, who can design incredible houses. Nigeria has them, but we need to place value on those things.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who highlighted challenges in the industry, said the government has numerous plans for the industry in 2017.
2017 will see a revival of the Argungu Festival. I am very certain that in 2017 we would also see the takeoff of the task force on creative economy. The whole idea that we want to transit from creative industry to a creative economy. And then I think also, I'm also very confident that the 2017 will see more drive and more favor to address the issue of piracy.
The partnership of the federal government and the British Council with the Tony Elumelu Foundation is believed to be a great achievement of 2016, which will help to project the industry to the outside world. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Responsibility of every Nigerian in the fight against corruption restated at today's Jumat service, plus euphoria of Christmas. These and more when we come back.
To send and receive money across Africa in a flash, use Rapid Transfer today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Can you hear me?
If I do not get my presentation in the next minute, there will be trouble.
How are we supposed to work with data speeds like this?
It's the internet experience that will change everything again. Brought to you by Nigeria's widest data coverage network. It's time for real 4G LTE. Join Nigeria's largest 4G network. Text 4G to 131 now.
Your presentation, sir.
MTN 4G LTE. In every sphere of life, it's life like never before.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list, starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge.
Gioni M6, always in power.
It's truck month at Ford, and we've got a Ranger just for you, Vincent. Here's the Workhorse 2.5 petrol single cab with free Ford Protect, a 4-year, 120,000-kilometer service plan. Or the 2.5 petrol-based double cab with 800mm water wading capability, available in manual transmission and with free Ford Protect. So while stocks last, visit Coscharis Motors today. Because, wait for it, thanks Vincent, we've got a tough Ford Ranger just for you.
Nupeng PTD, in collaboration with FRSC, pleads with its members and other road users to be extra careful as Christmas and New Year festivities approach. Please take other road users into consideration and avoid situations that can lead to crashes. Also, be vigilant and careful around construction areas and obey all diversions and other road signs. Let's make 2017 a crash-free year as we avoid night journeys and maintain our vehicles. Otumba Salmon Akoni Oladiti, National Chairman, PTD of Nupeng, announcer.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
The Future Assured project and its components, Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships, and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With Future Assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Would you like some water? It's cold, especially for you.
Which era are you living in? We have a fridge.
When everything else in your house is from the present, then why are your toilet cleaning methods from the past? Harpic, all-in-one for you. Compared to other toilet cleaners, Harpic removes top stains, kills all germs, and removes bad odors. For a shining, clean, and fresh toilet.
Wow.
You should also take the Harpic
all-in-one challenge.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
You are watching the NTA Network News. The fight against corruption is the responsibility of every Nigerian, and Muslim Ummah have been urged to be at the forefront in order to engender a prosperous nation. Imam Yahya Garba stated this in his sermon at today's Jumat prayers. Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji reports.
According to the teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Muslim faithful should always be vigilant of happenings around him and take proactive steps in curbing evil. This is because whenever evil is allowed to thrive, not only the perpetrators suffer, but it affects the entire community. Hence, the Imam emphasized on the need for worshippers to learn more about Islam.
The issue of whistleblower, we must see it as encouragement. But we as Muslims, that one has been there 1400 years back. That is, man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi. If you see anything that is evil, that is bad, falyughayyirhu biyadihi. Try to change it in order to what? To curtail a lot of corrupt activities that is happening.
The Muslim faithful were also reminded to be safety conscious during the Yuletide and pray for the peaceful coexistence of the country. In Abuja, Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji, NTA News.
And in the next 2 days, Christians all over the world will mark the birth of Jesus Christ. In Bethlehem, the birthplace of Christ, preparations have peaked for the traditional Christmas festivities in that city. Makut Simon Macham now reports from the Holy Land.
Christianity has no foundation without Jesus Christ, whose birth remains not only highly celebrated, but a mystery that requires faith to understand. Jesus himself is quoted in the book of Matthew chapter 13 verse 57 to have said that a prophet is not without honor except in his own hometown and among his relatives and family. But with Christmas 2016 around the corner, Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus Christ, appears ready for this celebration.
Now, as you can see, the streets are already adorned with Christmas decorations as residents of this city, joined by thousands of tourists from across the world, including Nigeria, converge on Bethlehem to mark December 25th, Christmas Day.
The Church of Nativity, reputed to be the oldest church in the world, is said to be the exact place where Jesus Christ was born and is a beehive of activities as millions of pilgrims from around the world visit to see where this highly revered spiritual event took place and also mark the Christmas.
The birth has given us an assurance of our salvation because Christ died for us.
This is a lifetime experience, and I know that I would tell my children's children the story of how I came here. This is my first time of being here, so it's an amazing experience for me.
And so as Christians, we are expected to emulate him, to behave like him. So when you answer Christian, you are really taking on very huge responsibilities upon yourself.
The Manger Square and the streets of Bethlehem that hold these Christmas processions and carols are also ready.
As the countdown to Christmas continues, the Manger Square here in Bethlehem is already a beehive of activities as pilgrims from around the world converge on the Church of Nativity to see where Jesus Christ was born. Usually on the Christmas Eve, services are held here at the Manger Square, where thousands attend. And this year is not an exception, as Nigerian pilgrims and their counterparts from across the world will mark Christmas in this square. From Bethlehem, I am Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Many thanks, Makut. And back home, the mood is one of mixed reactions for the celebration, and this is seen in the buying and selling across markets and malls in the FCT. Glory Ekanam monitored the situation and brought back this report.
Merry Christmas. That is the refrain that will reverberate across the world on Sunday as Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. But for many Nigerians here, there is a compulsion to make the Christmas as merry as possible by trying to cope with the unfriendly prices of some basic commodities like rice, chicken, turkey, oil, and textiles, which have skyrocketed, and some traders are experiencing low patronage.
People are not buying it. People are complaining there's no money, there's no money, there's no money. At least you can see the market. Today is 22, right? Everyone's supposed to be busy. No people in the market. It's only few people that you see.
Every day you come to market. Something that you buy for 100 naira, you come by the next day to be 120 or 110. So things keep adding.
Well, there's another side to it all. Some say not too bad after all when the variations in prices of commodities is compared with what obtained last year.
Everything don't increase, except tomato. We were selling 5,000 last year, 5,000, 3,000, but now we're selling 500 a basket. Last year we sold a basket of onions, 2,000, 1,518, but this year we're selling 800.
For those into the sale of Christmas decorations, they are experiencing low patronage also. In Abuja, Gloria Kanem, NTA News.
And still in the spirit of the season, vehicular movement is building up on the Abuja-Lokoja-Okene Highway. Francis Udojo monitored the traffic situation in Lokoja.
Traffic flow from the north to the southern part of the country is heavier. The usual gridlock associated with the popular Natako Junction, Lokoja, which is a melting point for travelers to the north and south, was not experienced by motorists.
Maybe because we are in December time, that's why the crowd is just like this.
It's not very easy at all. It's not easy.
FRSC, police and civil defense personnel have been deployed to traffic hotspots to facilitate free flow of vehicles.
What we are observing now is that the traffic is very heavy, as expected or as predicted. But all the same, with the deployment of the men, we can see that people are still moving orderly. So slow and steady, like they say, we will all be there.
The FRSC advised motorists to obey traffic rules and regulations to ensure safety on the roads. In Lokoja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Many thanks, Francis. Meanwhile, the presidency has approved the appointment of an assistant corps marshal, Dauda Biu, as deputy corps marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps. The newly appointed deputy corps marshal, until his appointment, was the head of finance and accounts of the FRSC. A statement by the head media relations and strategy of the corps, BC Kazim, added that 8 officers were also promoted to the rank of assistant corps marshal. You're still watching the NTA Network News. Christmas party for internally displaced persons in Lagos State. Let's now join Jennifer to bring us details of these, and we also have business news. Compliments of the season, Jennifer.
Thank you, Fumi. Compliments of the season to you too. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. The National Commission for Refugees is currently assessing the state of facilities and challenges facing internally displaced persons at IDPs across the metropolis. This is with a view to preferring solution to them. Musa Toliat reports that the IDPs were also treated to a memorable Christmas party.
The internally displaced persons were invited by the newly appointed Federal Commissioner for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Hadia Sadia Umar Farouk, to get first-hand information on the challenges they face in the various IDP camps across the state. Issues raised by the IDPs include the deplorable state of the camps, lack of proper documentation and identification of IDPs to forestall incessant arrests, and the need to establish schools to cater to the academic needs of children in the camps.
We used to do farming and trading, and now we have nothing to do.
Now as we are here, some other people are there on the bridge. And maybe you can help us and give us work and give us accommodation.
We're going to come up with an accurate data
of these people that are displaced, and we'll provide them with the identity for them to be identified. We're going to see how we can enroll these children into government schools. We're going to approach the state government to see how they can come to the aid of these vulnerable people.
We partner with the Refugees and IDPs Commission. There's no way government is going to be able to do the work all by themselves.
The National Refugee Commission thereafter celebrated the Yuletide seasons with IDPs and its strategic partners. The Federal Commissioner promised to work out lasting solutions that will ensure proper integration of IDPs into communities and ensure those who wish to return to their original places of residence are assisted to do so as soon as the reasons for their displacement have been resolved. In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
And to business. As Nigerians make last-minute preparations to celebrate Christmas, Amechi Pius on our business news segment takes a look at trends at some commodities markets in Lagos.
A warm welcome to Business News. It's about 24 hours to Christmas and Nigerians are making last-minute shopping. Prices of most food items have increased. A visit to the market revealed that prices of chicken rose from 2,000 to 4,000 naira depending on the size, while turkey was sold for 15,000 naira and 2,500 naira, while a basket of tomatoes sells for between 5 and 10,000 naira. A basket of pepper goes for 3,000 naira. Sellers complain of low patronage. My colleague Annie Daniels also visited the Sura and Ido markets in Lagos.
Fresh tomatoes and pepper, food seasonings and live chicken are among the most sought-after items.
This one I'm 4,000 naira for the two. This one I'm 3,500 for guinea fowl for the two.
That one 10,000. This one Tatashe 3,000.
If we cannot kill a chicken, we go and kill a fish. Oh, mama.
The story was not different at the Ido and Sura markets on the Lagos Island. Buyers and sellers complain of low patronage and hiking prices of foodstuffs.
From rice to beans, even sugar is really expensive now. Sugar of 15 naira before is now about 100 naira now.
We don't see people to buy markets. We don't see anybody. Market today dry.
Our motor dey empty. If you say market there, we go to load, the carry load, they come out.
Meanwhile, prices of the various brands of rice, both imported and homegrown, are between 15 and 22,000 naira per bag. And that's Business News. Thanks for watching. The news continues shortly. Good evening.
Thank you, Amechi Pius. Now, if you're just joining us, you're watching the NTA Network News from the Lagos Network Center. We have more reports after the messages. Stay tuned.
Feels good in my heart and my soul, and you're here right beside me. I will never want this day to end. No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Introducing the new 5 Alive Pulpy Orange.
Where is the pulp? The pulp. Where is the pulp?
Taste the goodness of real orange pulp in every gulp.
Where's the pulp?
The new 5 Alive Pulpy Orange, now in your neighborhood.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Wow, Fanta! Wow, that great taste! The delicious bubbly Fanta! What could possibly get in our way? Drink your Fanta before someone else does. Enjoy the great tasting Fanta flavors!
Hello?
Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list, starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge.
Gioni M6, always in power.
It feels good in my heart, in my soul, when you're here right beside me. I don't ever want this day to end. No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
And thanks for being there. You're still watching the NTA Network News. Governor Mohammed Abubakar of Bauchi State has presented a budget of more than 155 billion naira before the State House of Assembly. Abbas Meikano has that report.
The budget proposal also covers effort towards enhancing industrialization of the state, which the governor said measures have been put in place to create an enabling environment for industrial development. They include relocation of Bauchi Plastic Company to West Recycling Plant and provision of working capital, establishment of Bauchi Guana Cement Company, Das Tomatoes and Vegetable Processing Plant, expansion of Wiki Hotels and Towers, as well as Inland Container Depot, while identifying youth restiveness as a real threat to the socio-economic development of the state. The governor enumerated various measures taken to ensure youth empowerment and social support, targeting over 10,000 households with monthly stipend of 5,000 naira, while over 14,000 youth will soon be engaged on intensive labor-related activities with 7,500 naira monthly payment for the period of 2 years. The governor gave out the breakdown of the budget proposal, which he called Budget of Sustainable Development, with 60% of the estimate going to capital expenditure, leaving the recurrent expenditure with 40% of the estimate. Abbas Meikano, NTA News.
Ambassadors designate have been urged to put Nigeria first and show zero tolerance to corruption in their respective countries abroad. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama gave the charge at a reception organized for the ambassadors designate in Abuja. Gabriel Odo has details.
The forum climaxed a week-long induction course for career ambassadors designate and their spouses put together by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Understanding their craft, which is diplomacy and wisdom to better prepare them for the responsibility that rests on their shoulder, is what the one-week induction course stands to gain.
Important assignments you all have.
Without missing words, Foreign Affairs Minister says it is business not as usual and reminds the ambassadors designate key areas the Muhammadu Buhari's led administration is focusing on, which are security, economy, and anti-corruption.
You know, it's a change administration. It should not be business as usual, you know, and that they should really go there to make a difference and to use their mission and their work in that mission to contribute positively to the work that Mr. President is doing to transform this country.
Some of the ambassadors designate confirmed that the induction course was well structured with useful activities and expressed readiness to make judicial use of the knowledge gained.
We are not here for the food, but for the message that we are ready to represent Nigeria in our different missions abroad.
The global world is changing, actually has changed, and so we are adapting. And the adaptation is what the whole concept of the induction was all about. We don't want to do things the old way.
Having been equipped this way, what we intend to do is to market Nigeria in the best way appropriate.
As heads of missions, the ambassadors designate promise to build meaningful partnerships that will attract foreign investments, new skills, and technologies to Nigeria. In Abuja, Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
Elsewhere, Presidential Assistant on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, says the establishment of a Diaspora Commission will serve to articulate a robust diaspora engagement for national development. It was at the 2016 National Migration Dialogue in Abuja. Ogechi Paul completes the report.
Diaspora Nigerians in the context of our paper are legal migrants living abroad. Titled Diaspora Engagement, Practical Guide and a Need for Clearer Policy Direction, she copiously situated the potential of the Nigerian diaspora, which boasts of diverse professional competencies. In 2015 and 2016, diaspora remittances are in tens of billions of dollars. It should not, however, be lost on government, she noted, the imperatives of standard infrastructure and other governance issues. These have tasked the overarching objective for a national policy on diaspora and a Diaspora Commission.
We're hoping that the Senate will pass the Diaspora Commission bill. To have a commission, a one-stop agency to deal with diaspora matters, I think we need it at this point in time.
Governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, was represented at the event by the Deputy, Benson Abonu.
What we are saying is they should come and add value to the lives of Nigerians and to the economy of this nation.
The theme of the 2016 National Migration Dialogue is policy coherence in migration governance. Ogechi Paul, NTA News.
You're still watching the NTA Network News. Up ahead is Global Tidbits, Sports Update, and Weather Report when we come back.
I would like to see your face again.
Yes. This one is my first daughter. This is my second daughter. That's the one after that. That's my granddaughter there. Oh, she's a handful. She is a handful. What's the matter?
I have never seen my grandchildren.
What's your son's name?
John Uka.
John Uka. Is that your son?
Yes.
Yes. I would like to see your face again. Yeah. Hey, Papa.
Is that you?
I see your face.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
You're still watching the NTA Network News. President Muhammadu Buhari has described the latest terror attack on Germany as a wake-up call for the rest of the world to show sympathy and solidarity towards Chancellor Angela Merkel in the global efforts to neutralize terrorist agenda against humanity. The president also extolled Chancellor Merkel's strong leadership quality and her compassion towards immigrants in the Middle East and other countries. He expressed appreciation for the Chancellor's support to Nigeria in dealing with her own domestic challenges, including terrorism. And turning to sports now, the Kano State Football Association calls for private and corporate sponsorship of football in the country as the International Olympic Committee begins proceedings against some competitors. Details with Ayodeji Makinde on Sports Update.
Delegates at the just concluded Kano State Football Association General Assembly have called on private and corporate organizations to increase their investment in the development of football in the state and Nigeria at large. Ali Adamu reports that the delegates believe that such assistance will ease the financial burden being incurred by all tiers of government in sponsoring football activities in the country.
And the other stakeholders are behind the FA, and they are happy with the FA, especially in the way that are running the affairs of the football in general in Nigeria.
Efforts by the FCT Table Tennis Association to develop the sport and improve the performance by Abuja-based athletes were enhanced by a two-day closed championship, which climaxed Thursday at the NNPC Estate Table Tennis Hall, Gariki. 30 players competed in 5 different categories, with Ajoke Ojomo defeating Anna Onoja 4-1 in the best of 7 to win the women's singles, while Abdurrahman Abdullahi outserved his former protege Amadi Ome 4-1 to win in the men's singles.
I tried my best, and I think my best worked out to be good.
It was impressive. It was above average for me.
More revelations as 28 Russian competitors face disciplinary proceedings after their urine samples from the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi were allegedly manipulated. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, is reanalyzing samples highlighted in the McLaren report, which outlined a state-sponsored doping program in Russia from 2011 to 2015. With Sports Update, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
Many thanks, Ayodeji. And Uche Mwizo has stories trending around the globe.
We begin with health matters, where the World Health Organization says a highly effective vaccine that guards against the deadly Ebola virus could be available by 2018. Trials conducted in Guinea, which is one of the countries most hit by the disease, show it offers 100% protection. The vaccine is now being fast-tracked for regulatory approval. Meanwhile, Angola has declared the end of the world's worst yellow fever epidemic in a generation. Repulse says a UN-backed vaccination campaign of 25 million people resulted in no new case in 6 months. And from the Democratic Republic of Congo comes a report that opposition leaders have reached an agreement with the ruling party over the transition of power. President Joseph Kabila will now stay in office until the end of 2017, even though his term has officially ended. Outside Africa, Berlin market suspect Anis Amri has been reportedly shot dead by police in Milan. The Interior Minister of Italy said the man opened fire on police who asked for his identification during a routine patrol, and reports say the 118 people on a Libyan passenger plane, which was hijacked and forced to land in Malta, have been released after the hijackers surrendered. Uche Mwizu, NTA News.
And as we prepare for the long holiday, let's take a quick check on the weather forecast for tomorrow. That's the NTA Network News for tonight. On a day, the rice production partnership between Lagos and Kebbi states received President Muhammadu Buhari's commendation as he expressed delight at the relatively cheap price of the lake rice, especially at this period of recession. The European Union is to partner Nigeria on chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear risk mitigation. You also heard that Nigeria has won the rights to host the 2018 Africa Agriculture Festival, scheduled to take place here in Abuja. Before we go, a quick reminder that you can watch all our stories and much more when you log on to our website, www.nta.ng. We thank you once again for being part of today's broadcast. I am Fumi Wakama, wishing you a happy weekend and a splendid holiday. Good night.